Hello and welcome to this presentation. My name is Steve Beckett and I'm the founder and CEO of Logic Document International. And we are a leading edge privacy solution company. On the presentation today, we also have Bonnie Northey, who is one of our international directors, and Jordan Sullivan, who is one of our leading trainers here at the brand. So a little bit more about Logic Document. As I've said, we are a leading edge privacy tech solution company. And we provide three elements to your privacy and your business. And we build that around education, operational, and compliance. And how do we do that? Well, in this presentation, we are going to give you some privacy information and take you through some of our solutions and our tech. But just remember, we do live in a society where we share our data now more than ever. And we are going to look at focusing on three data laws, which are the CCPA in North America, the GDPR in the UK and the EU, and PIPEDA in Canada. And those three data laws do protect more than 800 million consumers' identities worldwide. And as we say, local is now global, and many different nationalities are living, working, and visiting our communities, and they may all well have different data rights. You know, we do need to be prepared, but we also need to be aware. These data laws don't just live in the country, but they protect their country's citizens wherever they are globally. So an example I'd like to highlight on the screen there is if you are based in the UK, you're a UK business, and you do have Canadian consumers, you must process Canadian consumers' information in accordance with Canadian data laws.
So today we're going to focus on four key areas of global data laws: privacy policies, subject access requests, DPIAs, otherwise known as data protection impact assessments, and processor agreements. And we're just going to hop right into them with privacy policies. Privacy policies are one of the most important assets to a company. They provide detailed and clear guidance to customers how their data is treated. They also act as a reference for companies to use to ensure they are sticking to their procedures and promises to their customers and their data. Each one of your customers and staff have the right to know how their data is processed. So here's a few things we must include within a privacy policy: how and why you collect their personal information, how and why you process their information, how long you will retain their information, their data rights, who your DPO or designated data protection individual is, and your legal basis for processing their data. Remember, your privacy policy should be given to the customer before any data is exchanged.
Okay, so a privacy policy, in my mind, is the window into the soul of your business. And it's the ideal way to show your consumers, your employees, and even your competitors how effective you are at data protection and privacy. Now, a good privacy policy could mean the difference between winning new customers and service partners or losing trust to your existing customers to your competitors. Now, in my mind, a good privacy policy should be available to all existing and potential consumers. This can be on your website or, if applicable, in another format if requested. But remember, as a consumer and as an employee, we should be able to make an informed choice whether a company is safe to take our data in just 15 seconds. Could your customers say that today about your company's privacy policy? So with that in mind, I'm going to give you some top tips here when it comes to delivering what I call that perfect privacy policy. Now, your company's privacy policy should be unique to you and how your company operates. And some key things I look for in those policies are as follows. Is it easy to understand? Now, please do not ask somebody for their consent if you are not clearly explaining things properly. Number two, give your consumers and your employees the chance to ask any questions. Now, this should be explained by defining their individual data rights, but more importantly, how those individuals could then enforce those rights. Number three, have a clear and step-by-step process in place. Now, this should be tried and tested, and it will allow you as a company to fulfill your requirements when carrying out each request. Every good privacy policy should be transparent and give the consumer and the employee all the information required before they give you their consent. So what do I mean by this? Well, ideally, make sure your privacy policy is current, show when it was last updated, who created the privacy policy, and we must define how and why we are collecting that data. You must also include what information you require, how long you need it for, but more importantly, how long you will use it for. And also include if you share the information with any other companies or third parties. Now, this could be to provide a service. However, some companies do exchange or sell data. Now, they do this because they think they can. And the clear message to them is, please think again. Every data transaction must be transparent, and the consumer or the employee must be aware and consenting. But I get asked all the time, Steve, is consent enough? Well, simply the answer is no. Let's ensure it's what we call informed consent. That's why our licensed privacy policies are uniquely designed to ensure, above all else, your customer or employee understands and agrees to give you their consent, but it has to be what we call informed consent.
Next, we're going to go into subject access requests. Although we operate globally, today we're going to focus on the UK, EU, Canada, and the United States. There are 8 data rights, with the first 5 being universal to all countries. And these are your right to be informed, right to access, right to rectification, right to object, and right to be forgotten apply to the UK, EU, Canada, and the USA. With the right to data portability and rights related to automated decision-making and profiling being unique to the UK and the EU. The right to restrict processing is unique to the UK, EU, and Canada. Now, how a subject access request works. When a consumer or employee submit any of the previous requests, they are submitting what is called a subject access request. This is a formal request that businesses have a legal obligation to act upon. Businesses must acknowledge that they have received the request within 72 hours. This is usually sent via email and will be basic, just to confirm that they have received your request and will be in touch. Businesses have 30 days to carry out the request. Consumers or employees can submit a request any way they like. They can verbally request over the telephone or on site or in person. They can email or they can send a letter. They can also request that their information be provided electronically via email or via post.
So all in all, the consumer and the employee really does have the ownership of their own data. And just remember, they can take that consent away from you and your company at any time. And a question to ask yourselves is, have you got the ability to process such requests within that very important 30-day time period?
Okay, data protection impact assessments, otherwise known as DPIAs. So what is a DPIA? Data protection impact assessments are used to assess levels of risk within a working department of a business or organization. It is designed to highlight risk based upon severity and aids to create an action plan on how to eradicate those risks effectively. A risk management plan is mandatory in every data law. We at Logic Document conduct DPIAs regularly to ensure any changes within the company are safe to do so within the eyes of data protection and ensure no risk to its consumer data. How to determine the level of risk. To assess the level of risk, you must consider both the likelihood and severity of any impact on individuals. High risk could result from either a high probability of some harm or lower possibility of serious harm. You should consult your data protection officer if you have one, and where appropriate, individuals and relevant experts. Any processors may also need to assist you. If you identify a high risk that you cannot mitigate, you must consult the data authority before starting the processing.
Okay, so a DPIA, this is my favorite toolkit within the global data laws, and it can be used correctly and effectively as a management process. It can be used on a process, a department, a concept, or a plan, or indeed the overall business. And this toolkit is clearest and by far the most effective way of mitigating risk. Now, ask yourselves, what does risk mean to you? And it should be very different to each and everyone in the session today. But ultimately, it's a word that can and will cause your business financial or reputational damage, or indeed both. So here at Logic Document, we do provide our expert risk assessments, plan and mitigation through regular and robust DPIAs. And we do recommend carrying these out every 4, 6, 8, or indeed 12 weeks.
Next, we'll hop into processor agreements. What must my business do to ensure compliance with processor agreements? First, identify every single relationship your business has with suppliers, customers, outsourcers, contractors, agents, resellers, distributors, etc., where you either disclose any personal data to them or they disclose any personal data to you. Secondly, for each of those relationships, identify whether you are the data controller or you're the data processor. It is likely that you will want to agree to a slightly different data clause depending on the answer. As a data controller, you'll inevitably want to shift as much burden onto the data processor as possible. But as a data processor, you'll want the data controller to be fully responsible for compliance with the law. What must my business do to ensure compliance with processor agreements? Finally, identify whether there's an existing contract in writing between the two parties. If there is an existing contract, then you will have to agree to an amendment to that contract, which shouldn't be a problem in principle, as the other party should also be keen to amend that contract to comply with the relevant data law. If you do not have an existing contract, then you will have to enter into a written agreement, ensuring that the agreement includes the required data clause.
So again, processor agreements, the question really here is, do you share data with any third parties? Now, this is when a processor agreement should be in place. This not only gives you the control over how the data is being processed, but it also helps to alleviate that liability from you when that effective processor agreement is in place. Now, these agreements are legal documents and should be updated at least annually, or when or if a new process is introduced into yours or a third party's process. So again, question yourselves, how many of you currently share consumer or employee data without an actual processor agreement? And very much like a subject access request, the consumer or indeed the employee can ask to see evidence if one does exist, or they could go one step further and ask to request a copy of that actual agreement. So that's it for the educational process of this presentation today. And I'd like to hand you over to Jordan, who will now take you through some of our services and tech solutions within Logic Document. Over to you, Jordan.
Thank you, Steve. Just before we look at our packages individually, just so you know, regardless of which package you choose to go with, all of the following packages include a review of your current privacy policy, a basic understanding of global data laws and how they impact you, basic search on our breachaware.com website, and pre-recorded data management awareness sessions. So our first package is our basic Shield pack. It is $338 Canadian dollars a month, or £299 a month. And the basic Shield pack aims to look at small businesses. So what this pack provides is a customized privacy policy. After understanding your business model and your current personal data needs, we'll create a customized privacy policy. A DPIA, every 3 months, we will conduct a customized data protection impact assessment based on your processes and your conformance to your privacy policy. A DPIA is the best tool to show your commitment and seriousness to personal data management. And then you'll also have a risk overview. So based on the DPIA conducted, we will provide an in-depth report where there's significant risks, our recommendations, and review of any new processes. So just to recap on the basic Shield pack, it's all of the free tools, a privacy policy, a quarterly DPIA, and a risk overview.
So in reality, is this you? Do you have a small business that operates as a sole proprietorship or that have no employees? You could be a home-based worker, a distributor, dealer, or broker. You could be a realtor or an estate agent, or you could be a consultant. You could be a tutor, whether it's linguistic or academia coaching, or you could be a therapy provider providing physio, speech, or massage therapy. You could be a coach, whether that's in business, life, weight, fitness, well-being, or spiritual, or you could indeed be an online influencer, but the list really does go on.
So that brings us on to our next package, which is the Pro Shield pack. This is 848 Canadian dollars a month, or £499 a month. So the Pro Shield pack is aimed at medium-sized businesses, and this is a comprehensive package which includes everything from package 1, but also includes your SAR, your subject access request training, and an SAR can come from anyone whose data you are holding, so i.e. a customer, employee, visitor, and so on. Training for you and your staff on how to handle SARs, and when and what needs to be included with your response to SARs. You get your DPIA training. We'll conduct quarterly DPIAs. However, we will train you and your employees on how to conduct internal DPIAs. Comprehensive and regular DPIAs help to identify gaps, improve processes, and create awareness within the group. You'll also get an employment policy review. We can help you identify what data you absolutely require from your own employees and identify any risks. And this policy review is very specific to the personal data of an employee. And then you'll also have an employee handbook review, where we will review your current employee handbook and assess whether it is data protection compliant. And if needed, we'll provide any recommendations on how you can ensure your employee handbook is compliant with data protection law. You also get your controller and processor agreements. So this is the most critical part of personal data management if you move your data to third parties for any reason or reasons. This customized agreement will provide direction and instructions to third parties on how to handle and secure your data. And remember, you are ultimately responsible for any personal data you've collected for whatever reason or reasons. This customized agreement will also provide you with clear instructions, your role and responsibilities if you're processing data as a third party, and this agreement acts as a contractual legal agreement in case of a data breach. And then finally, you have a data protection officer. So you can add us as your DPO or go-to person when it comes to personal data management. So just to recap on the Pro Shield pack, it's PHIPA compliant. You get all of the free tools. You also get all of package 1, and you also get your SAR training, your DPIA training, employment policy review, employee handbook review, processor agreements, and your DPO registration.
So in reality, are you a medium-sized business incorporated or a limited company that employs 1 or up to 200 members of staff? You could be a restaurant or hospitality or a service industry, such as that franchise restaurant or a hotel. You could be a recreational service, such as a hockey, soccer, baseball, or rugby team, etc. You could be construction and production industries, providing public or private education. You could be providing childcare, such as home daycare and licensed daycares. You could be a HR company or accountancy services, or a medical service such as dental, orthodontic, plastic, etc. You could be in legal services or agricultural services, from farming to suppliers. You could be in mining services, or you could be part of the larger supply chain. But remember, the list does go on.
So now we come to our final package, which is the Ultra Pro Shield pack. This is 4,245 Canadian dollars a month, or is £2,500 a month. And the Ultra Pro Shield pack is aimed at enterprise solutions, and this is our ultimate package, which includes all services from package 1 and 2. This is a great and very cost-effective package if you move any personal data internationally for whatever reason. If you have a large number of staff with access to your customers' personal data, and if you don't have a dedicated person or team or internal expertise on personal data management. What also comes in this pack is the International Processor Agreement, so a very critical part of personal data management, which considers international and local laws. And we have a team of legal experts to create, customize, and effective international agreements. You also get your staff training, so regular training for your staff with handling of personal data, privacy policy, DPIAs, and SARs. You also get your monthly department DPIAs. We will conduct DPIAs for each department every month and provide you with reports of our findings and recommended actions to mitigate risks. And monthly DPIAs are a great way to review interconnected processes at a whole and at the same time at an individual level. And then finally, you'll have your workshops and ongoing training. The learning never stops at Logic Document, and so does with your staff. By participating in our regular workshops, your staff are more engaged with day-to-day handling of your customers' personal data. So just to recap on the Ultra Pro Shield Pack, you get all of the free tools, you get all of package 1 and 2, and you also get your international processor agreements, your staff training, your SAR management, your monthly department DPIAs, and your workshop training.
So in reality, is this you? Are you an incorporated or limited company that employs 200 plus staff or needs any of the following? An international processor agreement, multiple training workshops, subject access request management, or data protection impact assessment management? Do you need your supply chain validated or a designated data protection team? Now, we can customize your services to provide that to you and your company.
So we also offer here at Logic Document, we offer our learning management system, which is 849 Canadian dollars, and it's also 849 pounds. So the learning management system is a simple bit of kit that can allow you and your business, staff, or data person, or team to learn and challenge their data knowledge. The LMS provides you with video animations and information on current leading global data laws, and some examples being GDPR, CCPA, PIPEDA, PHIPA, PIPA, PHIPA, and PHIA. The animation videos will take you through these data laws and provide you with the information you need to be compliant and have an understanding of other data laws that you may need to be aware of for your customers from different countries to the origin or location of your business. The LMS system works with a register where whoever you allow to use the system must register onto a lesson, then watch the video and finally complete a test at the end of that video to validate their knowledge and understanding. You cannot complete the lesson until you've completed the test at the end. You will receive one training animation every month. So month 1, having animation 1, month 2, having animation 2, and so on for the 12 months of the year. This is to ensure that privacy's continued journey and create a positive privacy environment. And then we also offer is our breach security package. So that's either 272 Canadian dollars a month, or it's also £159 a month. And what this pack includes is many people think that data protection is just your privacy policies and documents you need in place. However, there are other aspects, and it comes to breaches are a big risk. So does your business know what to do if a breach occurs, how to deal with one and who to report it to, how did it occur, and what steps need to be taken successfully to close the breach? So this package provides workshop training, and it will allow you to understand the SAR and DPIA management process. By utilizing this leading edge privacy tech solution, it will allow you to see if you've had a breach within your business and provide you with the supply chain data breach reports if a breach was to occur within the supply chain. Could your business afford to have a breach and deal with the repercussions of it? Fines issued across the globe have been substantial and demonstrate how important it is to be safe with your people's data.
So today you have seen what we offer and what packages we can do for you and your business. Now, think about what your business and which package suits it best for you. And also remember the 2 extra packages we offer if you feel you need more support with that type of data compliance. So just remember our packages. Here they are again, just to give you that reminder. Basic Shield Pack is for small business. A Pro Shield Pack is for medium-sized business. And our Ultra Pro Shield Pack is our enterprise solution. Add into the mix, we have our learning management system, and then our leading edge technology, which is the breach security package. Now, everyone's business is different and unique in their own way. And that is why our packages accommodate everyone when it comes to complying with data laws and regulations and the protection that goes with it. Now, always have confidence in your business, no matter what field you are in, but have the confidence of knowing that you are protected and also complying with data laws around the globe, and knowing that you are keeping your data and all of your customers safe.
Okay, next we're going to go into costs of non-compliance. Although our combined goal is to be morally and ethically compliant, there is a reality of financial consequence and reputational damage. Which of these would be more costly to your business? Could you afford either of these costs to your business? In Canada, the current fines can start in the thousands of dollars or maybe up to 3% of your annual gross turnover. In the UK and EU, this can be as high as 4% of your annual gross turnover. In the USA, fines range from $100 up to $7,500 per violation per consumer. Example, if you have 100,000 consumers on a database, your fine could be $750 million. Remember, you must be prepared that if a customer or consumer uses your services in your country, you must follow their data rights and their country's non-compliance fines would be applicable. What to expect next? Step 1, meet with one of our distributors to review and understand which package is right for you. Step 2, select a package which reflects your needs. Our focus is to streamline your personal data handling with the best practices and not just sell you the highest value package. Our mission is to be your partner when it comes to your personal data protection management. Step 3, complete the invoicing process and welcome on board. You will receive a welcome email with an information package and we'll ask you to provide some specific information. Depending on the selected package, we'll start creating a privacy policy, DPIAs, and other documents. Step 4, certificate of compliance. Depending on the selected package, when all of Logic Documents requirements are complete, we'll issue a digital badge, which will be used to showcase and reassure your customers, employees, and B2B businesses that you are advocates for data protection management. So this concludes the packages that we offer, and we wanted to thank all of you for joining us today. On behalf of Steve Beckett and Jordan Sullivan, we're very grateful for your time, and we hope that we will hear from you soon about any questions that you might have about privacy and your business. Thanks for joining us.